Three, two, one. Yep. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another podcast. The fifth one, in fact, from Maccadam's Hot Mic Night with me, our Knight Rider. We are missing a member today. Flame had to do some stuff, so Conundrum's here with me.
Hello, everybody. It's Conundrum, and
Yes.
we're here at Open Mic Night, and we're going to have a great time.
Oh, wait, well, but before we get to the main meat of today's review, we're going to. I was looking at notification. Up there we are. 18 seconds ago. Okay, so we're going to look at Earthrise, but before that, let's get to news. We're going to start off share screen, Chrome tab. The first up, we have images for Wave 2 of Kingdom, which includes, but not limited to, we get some pictures of Airraiser, RC, Huffer, and Ractonite. So let's start with Airraiser. Conundrum, what do you think? What do we think of Airraiser?
I actually like the design of Airraiser. It looks a lot like it actually came out of the show.
Yeah,
It's
like
better
it
than
too.
it's better than the Airraiser I had, but I had the Transmetals Airraiser.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It looks like a pretty good figure. There has been some color discrepancies with like the prototypes, but we'll see what its true color is like in hand. But I'm looking forward to it. What do we think of this RC? It's a re-release of the Earthrise RC, by the way.
You know I'm going to get it. It's RC. It's one of the characters I've never really had in. I finally got the Cyberverse version of her. I'll be glad to have the Kingdom version of her in my collection.
Yes, the Kingdom release.
Yep. So I can put them in my cast of wreckers.
All right. Then we have Huffer. What do you think of Huffer?
Huffer was my first Transformer I ever had, gotten over the years, and to have Huffer now is awesome. And I like how he looks. Actually, he's not like a miniature version of Optimus Prime. He looks more like a miniature dump truck.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Koi Monster.
Oh, Koi's right here. How are you doing? Good. Anyways, let's continue onwards. And finally, we have Ractonite, one of the new fossilizers.
I actually like the concept of these figures. Are they going to be Decepticons or Autobots?
Their Predacons are Maximum. This one I know for sure. I know that Exile and Paleotrix is a Predacon, so this one might be a Maximal, but we don't know for sure. But it looks interesting. I like Paleotrix a lot. We'll get to my thoughts more on him later. But
I'll be honest on them. And I like the design of them. It has like a very Michael Bay Formers design to it, which is pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. All right. So that's the first piece of news that we have here. Alrighty, let's go to the second piece. Chrome tab. By the way, you might know I'm a little bit tired because I've been a little busy lately, but it's fine. All right. Now we have new McDonald's Happy Meal Transformers Cyberverse toys. In case you really wanted to know this, but there are going to be more stuff related to Cyberverse. What do we think of the Bumblebee? Let's start with the Bumblebee. What do we think of the Bumblebee?
Bumblebee smells pot roast. He looks like a GoBot.
It looks pretty terrible. But what do we think of Megatron?
Megatron's a manly man.
He's with his puny fusion cannon, his microscopic fusion cannon.
Yeah, those muscles are definitely compensating for that fusion cannon.
Oh yeah, without doubt. You get Starscream over here, who apparently has no mouth.
And he looks like he has tits.
No, what's happening
in the center.
Wait, I just noticed that his arm is one of his arms is permanently like the bends in those arms are like sculpted in.
Uh-huh.
You know, and his legs seem like really long compared to like his entire body. And then we have Optimus. What do we think of Optimus?
It's Optimus. Like, it's better than the Burger King version.
You know what though? I really love one thing about this Prime. He has no hands, which I think is very cool. I think it's a very different and bold direction to take it in. Um, you know, but I don't know much about these. They just exist. I don't know why I even like covered them on here. I just thought it would be kind of funny to have these stupid things on. All right, let's switch to the other piece of news. Recently, we got images for the Galactic Odyssey Metropolis set. This includes repaints of a bunch of Micromaster sets, but the main ones are includes a repaint of Double Dealer's Missile as well. It also features repaints of I was gonna say Grease Pit or Grapple, but it's Ironworks and Airwave, but decked out. Now that we have them in person, how does it look? Or how do they look in hand?
The Ironworks, it looks terrible, but it can be used as a background robot, as like an army builder.
Yeah. How does the set look combined? How does this general look combined look? Does it work for you?
No, it looks like one of those Micro Machine building sets.
Yeah.
Even though it's Micromasters.
Yeah. Anyways, that is that.
If they ever do a commercial, please get John Machida to do this commercial.
All right. Exit out of that one. Okay. Next up in the batch, we'll share screen yet again. Application window. No content. Possible look at the very first, or the first look at the Rusty Siege Ironhide and Kingdom Cheetor. Now, these two are ostensibly repaints for, I believe, the Netflix line. Here's Ironhide, and then there's Cheetor. What do you think of both? Start off with
I love the Rust Zombies, and I saw another one that's a barricade.
We'll get to that one later, but we'll start off with this one.
Oh yeah, I love it actually because I can build a whole bunch of Rust Zombies attacking a bunch of my wreckers, and take pictures of it. Actually,
all right. Well, it looks decent. I might buy it. I might not. I already have this particular mold in the form of crosshairs, so I have a good experience with it. But yeah, look forward to it. How do we think about Cheetor?
he looks like his it looks like his feet are extra hands.
The
kibble.
The color scheme is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than the release for the regular one, but I might buy the regular one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, this looks like a decent offering for the Netflix line, which has ostensibly all been repaints or redecos or reworks of the molds from Siege and Earthrise. Now take a look at the one you were talking about, Conundrum. That is the Sparkless Zombie Barricade and the translucent purple Paleotrix. Let's start off with the Barricade, Sparkless Barricade.
I want that. God, like I said, I love set builders, like army builders. Mm-hmm. And you can do a lot with them. Hell, if you have an overlord, you can make a reenactment of the scene of the Rutgers comics where he's torturing robots. And the thing is, what I would do is put some like Energon blood on them, make it look really gruesome.
Yeah,
I mean, or have him have pieces of Moonracer in his hand.
But yeah, overall though, I mean, this does look fine. I don't know if I'll be getting it, but it does look all right. It looks like a really well done color scheme. Luke, what do we think of translucent Paleotrix?
It looks I never knew a Cenobite could be a Transformer. Number one,
Hmm.
it has a Cenobite-like head, and I love the purple scheme on it. It looks more Energon based.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the repaint is kind of the purple is a little bit too shouting out at me, and I don't like it that much, believe it or not.
Hmm. All right. There we go. But now the final piece of news before we continue on with our Earthrise look. Our look at the thoughts on Earthrise series. Let's take a look at some Kingdoms listings that have been found out. Those include, for the core class section, we have Soundwave and core class Dracodon, which might be one of those new weaponizer dudes, or like smaller skeletal guys. For the deluxe class, we have a deluxe class Scorponok, which might be for the big Titan class arc that's coming up. Deluxe
Nice.
class Wheeljack, which is probably released of the old Wheeljack. Deluxe class Wingfinger. This is an interesting name. Deluxe class Shadow Tracks. Deluxe class Shadow Tracks. Shadow Panther. Never heard of this one.
When you said wing finger, all I'm thinking of wing finger.
Oh, I know it. Shadow Panther is black and yellow. Is like evil Cheetor. That's what Shadow Panther is.
Like a dark, shattered glass version of Cheetor.
I think so. Wingfinger is one I've never heard of.
Sounds like
Sorry,
a
this is a very
bomb.
professional podcast. Wingfinger is oh, somebody. I have no idea who that is. I think it might be a repaint of must be a repaint of like Huffer or something. I don't know for sure. But tell me in the comments below for any Transformers fans. Do you know who he is? Slammer. Uh, need to look for who he is again. Transformers. Slammer.
It sounds like a gorilla name or some other type of.
Oh, Slammer is I believe it's gonna be a thing for Metroplex. My guess is, and he doesn't have an official like robot mode. My guess he's gonna be a repaint of Warpath.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw that out there. He's gonna be a repaint of the new Kingdom Warpath. I don't know for sure, but it is piped. We're getting so that's that. No, Wingfinger's not the repaint. Okay, I don't know what Wingfinger is. Waspinator we're getting. That's cool. Voyager class Rhinox, a Voyager class Tigertron, and a Leader class Galvatron. So what do you think of all these reveals? Or listings that have been released?
The leader class Galvatron is definitely one I'm getting.
Okay.
And probably Tracks.
All right. I'm looking forward to all the Beast Wars. Well, most of the Beast Wars stuff. I'll probably get Rhinox, Tigertron, Waspinator, even though I already have a Waspinator for Brilliant 30. I still would get him. I think I'll pass on. I want to see what Scorponok is. This deluxe class Scorponok is before I purchase it. I'll definitely try to get the core class Soundwave and then Dracodon. Probably. I already have a Wheeljack. I don't know about Pipes. Don't care for Tracks. I don't know what Wingfinger is. Shadow Panther, no. Pipes, me. But yeah, overall, and Galvatron, yes, for me, as I said prior. Yeah, overall, a decent selection here, but nothing too outrageous or stuff we've never heard of before.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's some stuff that I don't think anyone's we heard about prior, but now we have a bunch of stuff that we have heard about prior. Now, anyways, so that is it for news that I found that was at least worth watching. Berserker is actually a decent anime. Oh, we got a bunch of comments. This little podcasters. I don't know what Slammer is. Slammer, I don't know I know what Slammer was prior. Transformers. So I just got Berserk. I just got into Berserk. Berserk is actually decent anime. As I heard, not too into anime though. But if I get the Berserk, but yeah. Anyways, back to the Ramai Source Street. Anyways, let's get into before we get into Earthrise. I want to get into what we got for Christmas and New Year's and all that jazz, or just
Oh
collection
yeah.
updates in general. I want to get this out of the way because it will probably be. Oh, hey there, Kit.
Hey Kit,
Hey.
what's up?
See, let's put Kit's thing up. Hello there, buddy. Yes. So what do we get for? I'm gonna start with you, Conundrum, because I need to get all my stuff gathered up.
Well, I got for Christmas 2 versions of Impactor, which I already said.
Yeah.
And I finally got Springer.
Nice. Wait, what about what? I know you got Red Alert. If my memory.
Yeah, I also got Red Alert, which is awesome because I actually like the character in the War for Cybertron series.
Yep. What's up the sky?
Mm-hmm.
All right, continue.
With the Springer, I actually painted his blades. Actually.
All right. What do we think of all the figures you got?
Well, my favorite is Springer. Actually, he's one of the leaders of the Wreckers, and the next one I'm going to be getting is Roadbuster, the
Nice.
throwing 30s Roadbuster to add to my Wreckers collection.
All right, cool. I'm actually, because I was just mentioning this to you prior. What other gifts did you get besides Transformers? Because this is a prior to Christmas, and I wanted to really just gather up what we got overall for Christmas.
I got Fallout 76.
All right.
Some decent shirts. A new Japanese backpack.
Nice.
I also picked up some new socks and cologne and stuff, as well as some other cool stuff. Like I'm getting Alexa for the house.
All right. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like anything else? Oh man, because I'm trying to get all my stuff.
Oh yeah, a new headset, new keyboard and mouse, and a lockbox for my money.
Ah, cool. I'm just gathering up my shit. I didn't get much in the way of anything particularly new because Transformers stuff. Most of my things came into like DVDs and stuff. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I did play Red Alert, by the way.
All right. I believe that is it for my Transformer stuff. I just got rid of. Okay, so the stuff that I have now, again, I might be missing out on a few things. I definitely know I got like a lot of Mortal Kombat X10 figures. If you ever played Red Alert, I've not played the game Red Alert, but we have the toy Red Alert. I think it's what. But yeah, the figures I got were not many, but I did get a few like figures in my collection. Starting off, I got my hands on, and for the Baver stuff, I got my hands on a Soundwave.
Nice.
The Revenge of the Fallen Studio Series Satellite Soundwave, and it's pretty shit. It's really bad.
Get some like fishing line and hang it up on your ceiling.
It comes with a stand, so. And the stand is rather poor and just kind of boring. Like it's good for like certain posing. Like if you want to use the stand, it's good for like certain posing, I suppose. But it's just kind of a crummy stand, and the figure itself is just kind of me. It's just really poor, and it looks okay in robot mode, but the satellite mode is just absolutely bad. All right, see you soon, Dank Starstream. The rest of my collection consists of not very much Transformers related things. I did have to cancel some orders prior, so the orders are a bit different than I said in the. I think I said in the first episode. I already mentioned. I believe I mentioned Overload. I got Overload for Devastator.
Okay.
Did we cover? Well, I forgot what our podcast was.
I think it was in November we did one. I'll check actually.
Let me check as well because I want to make sure because I know.
Yeah.
Oh, dark map. This is a very professional podcast, as I said prior to.
Yeah.
Very professional. No problems at all. The podcast we did was a week ago. So, it was a week ago. So I already mentioned Overload. But I
Yeah.
did mention a few things I ordered. One of them was I did order Exhaust, and he ended up being awesome. Bug Light was awesome. Fast Track is really solid. Airwave sucks. He's bad. Then Soundwave I already said was bad. And then afterwards, I got a bunch more money, and then I ended up ordering a few more Transformers. I got some Micromasters. I got my new mic, so it doesn't sound like shit anymore. Cool. And I got some Micromaster teams, and one of them was good. That was from Earthrise. I forgot what the Rollerblade and Groundhog was the team. You should
nice.
get Cord and Spin out. They're great. I'm quitting on the G1 stuff kit. As much as I would like to get more G1 stuff, I'm probably gonna stop getting that stuff unless it's like Galvatron, Cyclonus, and everything else. Because at this point I just have too much G1 stuff in my collection. And I'll ever get B-Source stuff, and then afterwards I'll probably be moving on from collecting Transformers for a while. Yeah, the Airstrike Squad though, it's not G1, it's Diaclone. The point being, it's a G1-esque character, or a G1 in the G1. It's using G1 like designs and shit, and that's what I'm talking about. Moreover, I already have enough of those as is. But the main point being, the Airstrike Squadron is really solid. Like, I really like that little set, and they turn into a sword, and it looks really cool. I got Thrust today. Not Thrust today. It was yesterday I got Thrust, and I was surprised because it was supposed to come in a little later. And Thrust, how much longer are you guys going on for? It depends on how long we go on for. Depends how long the Earthrise discussion goes on.
Yeah.
But Thrust is good. I really like Thrust. I like the Coneheads. I don't like the Earthrise Seeker, like the traditional Seeker I hate, but I really like the Coneheads to an extent. I think they just do more with the molds than the boringness of the original Seeker mold. Darkon asking who would be considered the most powerful Transformer. We'll get to that later. Maybe at the end we'll ask questions or something.
But, are you going to get Sandstorm?
Oh, Sandstorm. No, I'm not getting Sandstorm. I already have the Ramjet, so I technically have a Sandstorm already. But yeah, Thrust is good. And then I got Kingdom Paleotrix, and I absolutely love Kingdom Paleotrix. He is a fantastic toy. So Kingdom is starting off really good for me. Thank God I didn't choose something like the Core Class Optimus, which doesn't look bad, but I don't know. I'll probably be getting it later on. And I'm glad I didn't get like Kingdom Warp Path or something, but it is a nice little refresher, and it's easily my personal favorite of these stupid little weaponizer modulator things. Oh yeah, no, I said Airwave was a piece of shit. I think I said that already. But yeah, Paleotrix is fun, and I recommend Paleotrix if you could get him. But yeah, I think it's it for our collection. Minus that, I just got some like Mortal Kombat 11 figures from McFarlane. Got a bunch of DVDs of like Asian horror films. 2 more are supposed to come in. Actually, I think one's supposed to come in today. I haven't checked up on if it has come in today. That being Sorum. But I did, weirdly, I did get carved the Slipmouthed Woman in early, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Which I can show you. I have it right here, so I can just show for a brief second.
Nice.
Yep. All right. And then I got a bunch of others as well. They get them all up. All the Asian art I received in the mail. These are all the ones I received. And yeah, I still have 2 coming in, but along with carved. All right. So Coinmaster is asking, where should I start if I want to get into Transformers? How's the fan base? The fan base is it's a good. The fan base is mostly fine. I've encountered my hiccups, but most part it's decent. But if I were to tell Koi where to start in Okay, should the question is, Coy, do you want what do you talk about? Series? Are we talking about toys? What area are you talking about? Because those are both very different things. Um,
Because there's different parts of the fandom actually, and
I think he's talking about like what to get into, like what Transformers media. If you want to talk about toys, I think the ones to get right now that are at a good price. I'm gonna go to Amazon.
oh, I know something to get you into, Koi Monster. Watch War for Cybertron Earthrise.
If you can find it like on like a separate channel. I have no money for figures, so so you have no money for figures. There'll be shows. Tubi has pretty much a good majority of like the Transformers series, so you can just. I suggest if you want to like look back at what was like the olden days, let's start it. Go for the '80s. Beast Wars is a good one to watch. If
Transformers animated.
Transformers animated. Prime if you're curious. Armada trilogy is up there, so you can check that out. I mean, only two of them are any good at the prime of the Armada trilogy, but there. I will actually, yeah, I'll send you links later on after the podcast because we're already unprofessional as it is. I don't want to make it worse for us.
Yeah.
But and I do think it is. Oh, I'll be right back. All right, maybe we'll delve a little bit more into like what to get because the Earthrise. But yeah, we'll get to that after the Earthrise discussion. But yeah, I think that's it for my collection update. Oh yeah, and I also got Phantom Empire on Blu-ray, which was I've yet to see that film. It's still like remaining in my collection, just collecting dust. But alrighty, let's continue with today's discussion. That being Earthrise. So Earthrise was the sequel series to the War for Cybertron Siege cartoon, which was released July of this year, no, of last year. Yes, I think. But yes, what did we in right near the end of the year, right before New Year's Eve, the day before New Year's Eve, actually, Earthrise came out, 6 episodes. Conundrum, what did we think of it? But actually, before we do about that, let's talk. What do we think of Siege?
Siege was great. Like I said, before we had another podcast where we talked about Siege. Siege had a lot of great things in it. I really like the fact of, like I said, Impactor was one of my favorite characters in that series.
Oh, yeah.
And it was sad that they killed him off.
Yeah.
And I love the character of Ratchet in that series and Red Alert. And I love the dynamic between both Prime and Megatron. At the sense that both are right and both are wrong at the same time. And you see more Megatron in Siege still has that sliver of humanity left in, whatever good left in him, the warrior that he was, who rose from the pits.
All right then. For me though, I really enjoyed Siege a lot. It was just an absolute break. The only Ratchet I know is Lombox. The only Ratchet, Ratchet is, for those who don't know, basic knowledge for any newbies who are here. Ratchet is a medical officer of the Autobot faction.
Yeah.
But yes, as I was saying, overall, I very much enjoyed Siege. If you have the opportunity to do, if you could find like a copy online somewhere, which would be pretty, just go like some sites. You can watch both this and Earthrise, and Siege is definitely. I know Siege was very controversial or not very liked when it was first released. Hopefully, it will get its audience soon, but I really enjoyed it. I think most of the complaints were completely laughable. There were some like moments of the series where I thought was kind of cringe, but for the most part, it was a solid first chapter. And now we have Earthrise released. What do we think of Earthrise? Starting with Conundrum. General thoughts on Earthrise, but going to before we get to spoilers.
I loved it. It was if Siege was like a good appetizer, this is sort of a good main course.
Yep. All right. I really, really, curiously enough, Earthrise as a toy line has been an absolute disaster. But it is refreshing to at least see that the series ended up being really good, like really solid stuff. We'll get into so any non-spoiler thoughts before we get into full-on spoilers.
I like it. It was dark.
All right. Spoilers new. Well, we're gonna have to go to spoilers, and it might end up. Most people might not even watch it due to where it's located on. People may not want to even watch it. I mean, that certainly was something in the back of my head watching it as well. So for those who it's probably a lot of people who don't want to see it. This will probably be, they probably just won't care. But anyways, yeah, we want to go into spoilers.
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, so what was your favorite moment of the entire thing?
Episode 5.
Episode 5, agreed. Episode 5 usually seems to be the episode a lot of people talk about. But yeah, episode 5 is probably some of the best things I have ever seen from a Transformers. Just any kind of storytelling I've seen from it is really good. For those who know, okay, basically the premise of Earthrise is that Optimus and his gang on the Ark are just floating in space. Megatron and Leader are fighting now in a dying world of Cybertron because in Siege, Optimus threw the Allspark into a space bridge and it's floating somewhere. We eventually figure out where it's located, which is Earth. And now there's another faction turns up, Decius, one of the Quintessons, who basically freed the Autobots, is after them. Decius on with Double Dealer and his gang, and then Megatron is finding drastic ways to keep Cybertron alive, and we want to. It's a complicated series, and a bunch of stuff happens that leads them to spoilers going on to Earth, and we hint at Kingdom. But yeah, in episode 5, which is what Conundrum mentioned, we are introduced at the very beginning to Skylinks. And Skylinks is, there's a flashback where Skylinks is talking to Alpha Trion, and Alpha Trion saying, "You cannot be Prime." And Skylinks is demanding that he be Prime, get the Matrix leadership. So Alpha Trion banishes him to the dead universe. And ostensibly, prior to the episode, Starscream tells Barricade or whatever to basically shoot everybody, shoot this portal, this like vacant space bridge, which causes both the Nemesis and the Ark to go into this dead universe where Megatron meets Galvatron and Optimus meets Skylinks, and both Skylinks and Galvatron act as like consciences or things to basically motivate their feelings of the characters. In case of Galvatron, it's supposed to fuel Megatron's hatred, and we later learn that Megatron was powering. Basically, we kind of learn more that Megatron's a bit of a spoiled brat who didn't get what he wanted immediately.
Yeah.
And then Skylinks is ostensibly like, "Hey, look, I was consumed by power for the Matrix, and now I have learned." And right before Skylinks joins the Autobots and helps them, Megatron basically channels his energy and kills Skylinks. And Galvatron gets poochied back to Unicron. Gets back to his home planet. And then
I will say this: I love how Galvatron appeared.
Galvatron it was kind of like a reference to the '80s movie,
and the fact that Galvatron showed Megatron before he went back to Unicron, something that all Beast Wars fans know about.
Mm-hmm. The golden disc.
The golden disc. I was like, oh my god.
Yep. Yeah. I think in general, like, again, a lot of the I think this one in general had a lot better pacing than... I never had the pacing issues that people seemingly made up about Siege a lot, but I do think the pacing was a little more tighter here. I also kind of liked how they handle some of the characters a bit better. Like, I always liked Lita 1 in Siege, but I really like what they did with Lita 1 here, making her more of the leader type And yeah, it turns up she just does more of an Optimus did,
Yeah.
which, and eventually you see what her actions do, because basically Decepticons are being like kind of caged up in like gladiatorial things, and she's freeing a lot of these imprisoned Decepticons who are being captured by other Decepticons. Eventually, they join the Autobots, including Scrapface and some random Seekers and other guys. Is Galvatron Megatron resurrected in every series? Galvatron, it depends upon the lore. Sometimes he's a time traveler, sometimes he's a different being, sometimes he is just Megatron. In this case, he is the future version of Megatron. We're not entirely clear about that. He does have the same voice actor though, so I think it's definitely leading towards this version of Galvatron being Megatron from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have something to ask. If Skylynx is supposedly killed off, wouldn't that interrupt the timeline between when Prime died and Skylynx was still around?
No, it wouldn't have, because it would Prime it would have been different with Prime. They didn't kill Prime, but yeah. Anyways, the main point you're making, I don't get what you're talking about. But yeah, overall though, really into it. I was kind of surprised to see was it Scorponok in there? That was kind of cool.
And I love that scene in episode 4 where Megatron had that spike in his chest.
Oh yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
so there's a scene in the other episode, in episode 4. Basically, Megatron, there was an explosion that happened. There's this space where the Autobot want to go in through. Then again, same applies the whole freaking. So Megatron, he is stuck. So the Autobots are trying to get this like ship blown up so they could go onto the other side of this portal. And it turns out Scorponok was there. Scorponok was there, and they have a big fight with Scorponok. Decepticons join in, and then there's a first explosion that ends up sealing off Megatron and Optimus from the rest. Megatron is near death. He has a spike impaled through him. He's bleeding. And Optimus, instead of killing him or letting him die, he tries helping him up. And they talk about what's been happening lately and their idealistic ideologies and such. And it's a really good scene. I really liked it.
I love that.
I do also, and actually reminds me of another thing. I do like how the series constantly challenges Optimus Prime's whole "do not kill Megatron" thing, especially near the end when a really cool scene. I mean, granted, the voice actor for the scene isn't perfect, but I do think the scene itself is really good.
And I like the part. I like the part when Prime said, "If you want to hear it, I was wrong."
Yeah,
that. And the fact that Megatron was egging him on to kill him, even mentioned about Elita 1. That
we do realize that we do know, because Megatron doesn't know that Elita 1's still running around.
Yeah,
because we learned that. Well, we see that Elita 1, Jetfire, Chromia, and Red Alert, who are like the only Autobots remaining, are saved by Scrapface and the other former Decepticons. Which again, I have to stress, I really liked something about that. Just worked for me. That whole plot line of Elita 1 saving the mistreated Decepticons, and then them end up. It's kind of like, it's one of those things that just really works, and it shows that, again, the series, it's one of those things that most of these kind of series, when they try to be dark and edgy, just don't do, and that is humanity. It's like the same. I have the same issue with a bunch of others.
And I think even Prime would have done the same. He always believed that freedom was the right of every sentient being.
Yeah.
And it shows that Prime's demeanor rubbed off on Elita 1 a lot.
Yeah. And you even realize, like, you eventually also notice how she ends up making the same mistake Prime did initially. Or because remember one of the first step of Siege, Prime gets a signal from Magnus stating all the coordinates of supposedly the coordinates of the Allspark. We eventually learned that Soundwave has been manipulating the coordinates. Um, but Optimus Prime says, even if it's a trap, we have to take any chance possible to get the Allspark and such. Here, and it ends up being a trap, but he's able to make it out. Whereas in Alita, in this episode, in the first episode, Alita sent Steel Claw to find some locations. She gets a message back from Steel Claw about this certain location. Ends up being because basically them torturing Steel Claw, which was kind of interesting, which was a bit of a shock. Not a shock for the series because they did that prior, but it was
animal cruelty.
Animal cruelty. The first episode, but
and I like the fact that Megatron was talking to the head of Ultra Magnus. Really regretted.
Oh yeah, that was completely fucked, and I loved it.
Yeah,
back to basically Starscream and like some of the Seekers are Metal Stylings. That's Skylings.
Steel
Claw to submit a message to Alita 1 to come to this area. Jetfire tells her might be a trap. Alita 1 knows this because they have very limited numbers and all that jazz. So now they have to wonder, is it worth going there? And she says, no matter the cost, it's worth going there.
Yeah.
And they do, and they get captured.
Yeah.
And what ends up paying off is how they escape is because of their own kindness to these other Decepticons, that Scrapface. And then there's also a line which I really liked from was it Skytread.
Yeah, Skytread.
Skytread says, I'm like, look, I don't agree with you guys, but also at the same time, I don't agree with what the Decepticons are doing. I'm going to help you guys out.
Just punch me in the freaking face.
Yeah.
I just love that line.
Yeah. But yeah. Overall, check Earthrise. Earthrise is surprisingly better. And I really like Siege a lot. So I knew I was going to enjoy Earthrise, but Earthrise came out something really good.
And that scene with Decius.
Oh, that was horrifying. Okay, what scene of Decius are we talking about? Are we talking about the scene where Decius which head was the one? Which head was the one that was ended up stolen?
The devil.
The devil head. The devil head just basically ripping off his other taking out his other faces.
Yeah.
Because basically the mercenaries are captured by Decius. Decius was the Quintesson that freed the Cybertronians initially. And Decius, because again, they can't decide what to do. The verdict is they go into another room, and it turns out one of the ones that was wanting them dead, basically was just started like ripping them off with like it was an ironing something, whatever.
A welding torch. It's like
welding torch. Yes, basically was ripping out their heads.
Basically, body horror.
It's really gory and shit, and especially for like a kid's cartoon, because this thing is rated TV by 7. It's especially violent, and I kind of like that.
And the whole tentacle thing with what she did to Double Dealer.
Oh, basically made him a mind-wiped zombie, like a puppet. That was horrible. Yeah. I feel bad for Double Dealer. I would have loved to have seen more of him. Because I kind of like what they had with this character. Basically.
Yeah. And don't forget about Cog.
Yeah. Oh, they made Cog do something and they killed him off. Poor Cog. But yeah. Anything else to add?
Oh, the fact that Starscream, that scene with Starscream.
Oh, they finally give like Starscream you really start seeing just how absolutely
powered
corrupted he is.
I think that's the only way he gets off is assert his dominance.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think there's much we can add on to Earthrise. We don't have Flame here. So
and the whole thing with Megatron really found out what Starscream did, and he's like, "Get out of here! Get off the bridge!"
Yeah. I overall really liked it. But the thing is, are there any complaints you have about Earthrise?
Not exactly. There is some scenes like I didn't found that was kind of boring, like the whole scene of I didn't like the fact they left on a cliffhanger with Shockwave, what he was doing to all the Decepticons, and the bomb goes off, and you don't know Alita's fate.
Well, we know we have made it out. We know Chromia is dead. But yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen what happened, but I think it's for the Kingdom. We'll find out. Speaking of which, what do we think of? I forgot now the plot line of what Shockwave was doing.
Yeah, draining Decepticon sparks to gain their abilities.
Yeah,
and the whole fact of you see the whole thing with Megatron, how he like the thing is how he views his people.
Yeah,
it showed like he had no once the war was over, he had nothing else to conquer, so he decided to kill his own people.
Yeah,
basically committing genocide.
Yeah, and the one scene that was kind of hard, was again horrifying to watch, was he was in that non working factory.
Yeah, and he sees
and he just leaves. He's like leaves them. He's like, oh yeah, I'm so grateful for you. He does kind of ponder. It's like, do I really want to sacrifice them? And once he sees the wounded people, you kind of realize, that's not good.
Yeah, and the whole fact of the one guy who was limping, really looked up to Megatron,
and it's just, it kind of is heart-wrenching to watch. Again, where was this? In the Prime, the series that apparently everybody loves. Again, I have to stress this. Where was this kind of writing? I get that, kids series, but if this series is able to do it and do it well at all, you could have done it. Although then again, I guess Netflix or streaming services have very different standards than network television, so that might have been the case. But still,
and don't forget about this thing. It's how ironic that Megatron been saying Prime committed genocide by dooming the whole entire race to death.
Yeah.
Well, he's being a total massive hypocrite.
Yeah. Him and Shockwave and all that are basically genocide, their own their own faction to
power up a ship.
Power a ship and to give Shockwave special powers.
And he's called Nemesis a salvation. No, it's genocide.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, any more thoughts?
No, not really.
Yeah. I think this was a very short podcast because we basically just have the same consensus.
Well, there was that one comment by Koi Monster.
All right. What was the comment?
He wanted to know, Koi Monster wanted to know what series should they start with.
I already delved into that earlier on.
Yeah, start with the War for Cybertron series. It's one of the best.
If you can, go on any kind of, if you don't want, again, yeah, you have enough. But actually, I was going to answer Darkon's question. He does become a good guy at one point. I believe it was in Armada.
Armada, yeah.
Armada's the one that he becomes a good guy at.
Yeah, the Starscream shipping wars.
And I believe he does become a good guy kind of in IDW.
Yeah, he became a good guy and formed a relationship with Airraiser.
But yeah,
not Airraiser, Windblade.
Windblade. But yeah, overall though, I recommend Earthrise. What are you expecting from Kingdom? That's, I think, another topic. What were you expecting from Kingdom?
The fact of the original G1 Transformers interacting with the characters from Beast Wars is going to be pretty awesome.
I would like to see David K. voice Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron. That would be cool.
And get Gary Chalk to do Primal.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And I would love to hear the best line ever from Gary Chalk again. Well, that's just prime.
Primal. I would love to see Scott McNeil as well. That would be really fun to see. Again, I don't know if we will be getting them, but it would be really cool to see them in there. I'm not gonna monkey out, probably not intended, if they don't. But at the same time, it would be a nice thing to do.
Truck better than monkey better than
No,
truck.
you don't get the joke. Monkey out like Optimus Primal.
But are we going to get the Optimus the Optimus Primal where he's surfing?
Yeah. Overall, though,
basically the robotic version of Funky Kong.
Funky Kong
from Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I believe that was it for not today's episode. We might take a little more. Yes, but I have to compare with Windblade. Actually, people were comparing. Isn't Windblade the only female Transformer that people were complaining? Okay, so a backstory for that one. That's a topic amongst itself. There's some sort. There was a Flames toy figure that a lot of people were freaking out over because it was kind of sexualized. No, it was Ferrari. I think it was the Ferrari, not Flame Toys. But a lot of people were freaking out by it. It was a very, very sketchy situation. My stance on it is I don't collect that toy. The toy itself looked kind of mediocre and not worth caring about. And this whole
thing. And it's third party. You don't like third party Transformers.
No. Oh no, it was a model kit, but that's it. I am not a big third party fan. I just like either. I think both political sides have their positives and their negatives, but this is not a political. This is not a political podcast. Unless politics actually do matter, I usually tend to leave them out. It became a political issue when it shouldn't have been done. I think that's the real takeaway from this. It's a political issue that should never have been there to begin with. It was a stupid model kit. Yeah.
And don't forget about that one IDW cover of Windblade.
Oh, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, it was drawn by a porn artist.
But yes, the main point being that was that figure. It's really... I don't think Metroid is a political party. Yeah. But yeah, besides that, I'm gonna see. Now we did ask our friends at was it? Hold on, I'm just looking some. We did ask our friends at Dark Map what the questions will be like for today. I'm gonna go for a second. It's more Gundam things, toys. What's toys? Alrighty. Let's look at the podcast Q&A.
All right.
So our first question, the podcast Q&A, the only question that seems to be in the Q&A. Maybe we could. No, there's some other questions we can ask. What's better from modern toys? What retarded?
Where's the podcast? Oh, I see it now.
I see it, dude. Good check. These were the questions yesterday. Apparently, what happened to the podcast? So this thing we have caused an interpondent. Deal. No, nope, not gonna do that one. Oops, here we go. No, I can't answer that one because I don't own too many.
University.
We don't own many classics universe things. But the question we still have is DN Prime 17 asks, rebooted movieverse, yay or nay? What is your response to that conundrum?
I think a rebooted movieverse would be good.
We already have started. We already started with the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
Universe. What do we think of that? Will that perspective lead into anything?
It might. Good? It might. I would love to see that, actually.
All right.
Because I loved the Bumblebee movie. Actually, it was a really great movie.
Yeah.
I would love to see them do a rebooted movie verse of the whole series, including some of the classic designs.
Yeah.
But to be honest, as much as I love the classic designs, I did fall in love with some of the Bayverse designs.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't. I think over time it kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
But definitely get rid of John Cena. We don't need John Cena in that.
But anyways, the main point being, as for my stance, I like Bumblebee. Weirdly enough, I never got around to buying it on Blu-ray, even though I love the film. I have a poster up front. I have some of the figures. I still haven't gotten the Blu-ray, which is weird because I got the Last Night Blu-ray. I got all 5 of the Bayformers, the original 80s movie. I just haven't found any motivation to own it. And I know it's weird because the 4K DVD, 4K Blu-ray is like $13. And if I wanted to, I could. For some reason, this I thought it was pretty soft. Yeah, it was a good movie. I really liked it. It's probably my least favorite of the live action Transformers films as a whole, but it's still a really good film that is very much worth checking out. That being said, though, I don't know what the fate for the rest of the franchise is going to be. This might be a Force Awakens situation in which we start off really strong and everyone likes it, and then the second movie or other films just hit, and then we get downhill, and everyone
It becomes ham-fisted.
No, not that. I mean the actual quality of the film. It just kind of slowly degrades into just G1 pandering nonsense, and then we slowly start, and then it's like a prequel thing where people are now like, maybe the Bayformers aren't that bad.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's the case. Because
and you don't have a copy of Bumblebee? Because up at the store right next to me where I live, they have a copy of it.
I'm probably going to get my own copy of Bumblebee sometime soon, but it will probably...
Because at the place where I go to get my shopping done, they also have like a huge DVD and Blu-ray section. They have Bumblebee there for $5.
Nice. I'm probably going to get my own copy because I like sometimes getting my own things. For instance, I guess it's before all those like Asian horror films. I gotten Dia.
What's up, Cybernetic Geek? How's everything going?
Oh, hey, Cybernetic Geek. All right. All right. But yeah, I there was not much to talk about Earthrise. Anything else you want to say about Earthrise that came to your mind before we? I just thought about like maybe we could.
To the people who liked War for Cybertron Siege, and for the people who are skeptical of War for Cybertron Siege, watch War for Cybertron Earthrise. If you can philosophically dive into it, you will enjoy it for a lot of the philosophy of that season.
Yeah, it is. It is surprisingly really well done, well written for what it is. For what's ostensibly a show about toys being smashed together. And I recommend Earthrise a lot, but that was completely off topic from the Q&A. But for me, I have worried skepticism for the new reboot movieverse. Zooming up for ROTF, didn't get the answers. I mean, the buzzword for ROTF, free pain B. I do not like how that looks at all. And I'm a Bayformers guy. But yeah, regardless, I do think...
And I gotta say, that the whole thing about Earthrise is, I love the mercenary faction. We got Bug Bite, Exhaust,
the Coneheads,
Double Dealer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I forgot. I mentioned the Cone. I mentioned the mercenary faction. The mercenary faction, I really liked how they are. Even if some of them, even if it's definitely most of them are like reused assets from like the
future assets. I love the whole thing is, I don't care if you're Autobot or Decepticon. My allegiance is to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about them.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, overall, not much to say about Earthrise. I don't remember what we said prior. Anything else before we go? Like any other, just random things that have happened to you lately?
Nothing much. Been gaming mostly and working.
Mm-hmm.
Got my back realigned. Found out I wrenched it really bad.
Ouch. For me, I've just been like going for all my DVDs that I've ordered.
Mhm.
So I have seen. Well, I already saw Card ages ago. I might watch it again because I just got it on DVD. I saw The Ghost, loved that. I've already seen Phones, so I'm probably gonna watch it again. But whatever. Doppelganger, I've yet to see. Ring of Curse, I've seen multiple times. I've seen it last month, so I pretty much know what to do with it. Infection, I saw, love that. I just got Pulse yesterday. I have both of the Free Extremes. Well, technically, the Free Extremes 2 is a different movie entirely, though it's just retitled Three Extremes to capitalize on the first one.
But
And
weren't there like multiple cop movies named Pulse?
yes, I have the 2001, or as it's called in Japan. That one's really sticky. God, this thing is sticky. My copy of
I am not gonna ask why it's sticky.
It's sticky at the parts. Okay, so do you know where in the old DVD days when you had like a label on top of it, the case that kind of like
Okay, I get it.
yeah, the tape residue from is still on there at the areas.
So that's what they call it now these days. These kids come up with very different meanings for that.
But anyways, the main point is Pulse. That's the 2001. It's the Japanese name for it is Cairo. So that's the one I own. Also, that fuck. Why is the stupid the plastic wrap is still on here? But yeah, that needs to stop. I just hate how he's hogging the spotlight. Or I think he Bumblebee. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for the episode today. So with that, we come to the close of this particular series. And anything to say?
Like I said, if you want to get into if you're a beginning if you want to get into the fandom, my suggestion is watch the War for Cybertron Siege and Earthrise series. It's a fresh series. A lot of it's based off of the IDW comics.
Yeah. All right. With that, we come to the close. Till then, see y'all soon. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. Very short episode in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, peace.
Peace.